Chosen one, what I'm about to share may surprise you, even shock you, but your spirit will recognize the truth in every word. If you're reading this right now, it's not by chance. You were led here because something ancient and powerful is awakening within you. This is not just about motivation or inspiration. This is revelation. The world has tried to blind you to who you truly are. They've tried to bury your name, rewrite your story, and erase your inheritance. But the truth cannot be hidden forever. You are not simply favored. You are the last creator, the final inheritor of divine power, the one whose rise was prophesied and whose presence signals the collapse of every false throne. They know who you are. They've always known. That's why they fear you. Not because you're rising, but because you were never fallen. Right now, you are shifting from lack into divine possession, from waiting to walking in full authority. What you prayed for is no longer coming. It's here. You are stepping into alignment with power that has always been yours, but to walk in it fully, you must understand the truth behind this moment. So before we continue, take a sacred pause, hit that like button to anchor this message in your spirit, subscribe to help us reach 20,000 chosen ones who are awakening just like you, and comment the number 11 below, a divine signal of alignment and activation. These actions aren't just digital gestures, they are energetic agreements. And if you feel something stirring in your soul right now, keep reading. Because after this, your life and the world will never be the same. For centuries, shadows have lingered in the corridors of power, whispered rumors of a reckoning long foretold, but never truly believed. Those who rule from their lofty thrones have trembled in secret, sensing the approach of something inevitable, a force beyond their control or comprehension. This isn't just a story or prophecy, it is the awakening of a truth so profound it shakes the very foundations of their dominion. They feared this day because it means the end of their carefully crafted illusions, the collapse of their reigns, built on deception and fear. These rulers, priests, and false idols clung desperately to control, desperate to erase the name that threatens their existence. Their power was never genuine. It was a borrowed light, flickering against the inevitable darkness that surrounds the final inheritor. The day has come when the truth they tried to bury rises like a tidal wave, unstoppable and cleansing. No longer can they pretend that their reign is unbreakable, for the one they tried to silence is standing at the forefront of reality itself. Behind closed doors, behind every whispered prayer and silent conspiracy, they have dreaded this moment. It is the moment when the veils are torn away, when the last illusions fall apart, and the real power reveals itself in all its glory. This is the day the world feared, not because of destruction, but because of revelation. The final inheritor is here, and with their arrival, a new era dawns, one that no tyrant or false god can withstand. Their fear is palpable. It is not of what you might do, but of who you truly are. You are not a mere player on their stage, you are the stage itself. The air around them thickens with the weight of your presence. They know their time is up, and while they scramble to maintain control, the final inheritor rises with a calm, unstoppable certainty. This is the day that shakes their world and ushers in the dawn of a new truth. You embody a power that cannot be bargained with, bought, or broken. This day was feared not because it brings chaos, but because it brings justice, a reckoning so long overdue that it humbles even the proudest of rulers. This day was feared because it signals the collapse of the false and the rise of the eternal. The final inheritor is not just coming. They have always been here, waiting for the world to catch up to its destiny. The truth is a fire that cannot be extinguished, no matter how deeply it is buried beneath layers of lies. For generations, the world's powers conspired to hide it, to suppress it, to rewrite history so their shadows would stretch across every corner of existence. Yet the truth has a way of rising, slow, persistent, and undeniable. And now, that truth stands before us, radiant and unyielding, bearing your name as its banner. Your name is not just a word, it is the embodiment of the original spark, the source from which all creation flows. It is a name whispered in fear, in awe, and in reverence by those who have tried in vain to erase it. This is the truth they sought to erase, the power they feared above all, because it exposes the emptiness behind their thrones and the fragility of their reign. The truth you carry is a revelation, a beacon for those lost in the darkness of falsehood. When the truth rises, it does not come quietly. It shatters silence, breaks chains, and burns away the lies that have blinded generations. It is a force of nature, relentless and pure, that demands acknowledgement. This is not a new beginning. It is a reclaiming of what was always yours. The divine right, the ultimate authority, the last creator who stands at the heart of all existence. Every false story, every fabricated legend fades in the light of your truth. The world will no longer be governed by illusions, but by the reality that you embody. Your name carries the weight of countless forgotten histories and the promise of a future no one dared imagine. When the truth rises, it brings with it a transformation that reshapes everything it touches. To wear this truth is to wear a crown forged in the fires of eternity. It is a symbol not of conquest, but of origin. The truth they buried has risen, and it does not simply carry your name, it is you, the eternal flame that cannot be dimmed or denied. You are not merely coming, you are an unstoppable storm, a force of nature that no one, no power, no scheme can evade. They might try to hide, to run, to silence the whispers of your rise, but the storm knows no boundaries, respects no walls, and fears no obstacle. You are the reckoning they've avoided, the truth that crashes through their defenses and reshapes reality with every step. This storm is not destructive for destruction's sake. It is a purifying tempest, burning away corruption and lies with relentless power. It shakes the ground beneath kingdoms built on sand and tears the masks from false gods who have worn their crowns too long. There is no refuge from the storm, because it is not coming for a moment. It is here, and it will not rest until the world is remade. The storm is you, not a distant legend or a whispered myth, but the living, breathing force they denied and feared. It is a return to the primal essence of power, the original creator reclaiming their birthright. You don't merely rise, you reveal. You don't just reappear, you remember. Your presence awakens dormant truths and calls the universe back to its rightful order. They have spent lifetimes preparing for an invasion, an uprising, a battle. But this is not what they face. The storm is not an external enemy. It is the inevitable awakening of something internal and eternal. You are the storm because you carry the essence of creation itself, a force so vast and so ancient it cannot be outrun or resisted. The storm doesn't ask permission. It demands change, and in its wake, it leaves nothing but the pure, the real, and the eternal. Those who try to outrun you will find that the storm moves with their shadows, that there is no escape from the truth they feared most. You, every crown worn by the world's rulers was borrowed, a temporary symbol masking a deeper truth they desperately sought to hide. For ages, they paraded their false authority, weaving lies to make the world believe their power was absolute. But the crown, the true symbol of ultimate creation and sovereignty, was never theirs to claim. It has always belonged to you, the eternal origin, the final inheritor. These rulers cling to their thrones with trembling hands, desperate to legitimize what was never theirs. Their reign is built on sand, illusions, and fear, but the crown you bear is eternal, forged from the fabric of reality itself. It is not a prize to be won, but a birthright to be acknowledged. The throne they mock now stands behind you, unwavering, unshakable, and forever yours. The weight of the crown you carry is unlike any other. It is not a burden, but a sacred responsibility. The acknowledgement of your place as the living source from which all things come. You don't wear the crown to rule over others. You wear it because you are the origin, the axis around which existence spins. It is the truth that no empire can erase and no false god can claim. For all their power and influence, these rulers have never truly understood what it means to bear such authority. They mistake control for power, domination for sovereignty. But the crown you hold transcends all that. It is a symbol of creation, of infinite potential, of a destiny written in the stars before time began. The crown was never theirs to wear, but it is now yours to embody. It is not just a symbol of power, but the essence of your being, the eternal light that outshines every shadow, the final truth that renders all pretenders powerless. You are not the heir to a throne or a mere successor in a long line of rulers. You are the very source from which all life and creation have flowed. The last creator has awakened, and with this awakening, the entire cosmos trembles in recognition. This is not a passing moment, but the dawn of a new reality, where the origin of all things steps forward to reclaim its rightful place. Creation itself seems to pause as you arise, acknowledging the return of the source it once forgot. You are the spark from which galaxies ignite, the breath that animates the stars, the pulse that gives life to everything. This awakening is not just a personal triumph. It is a cosmic event, a shift in the fabric of existence that cannot be undone. As the last creator, you hold the power to reshape the world, not through conquest or destruction, but through the pure act of bringing forth what has never existed. You are the origin and the culmination, the Alpha and Omega, intertwined in one magnificent being. This awakening is the ultimate revelation, the truth that all creation has been waiting for. Those who once ruled in your absence scramble to understand what this means. They realize too late that the power they wielded was but a shadow of yours, a pale imitation of the true creative force. The last creator has awakened, and with this awakening, the old order falls away like dust before a mighty wind. This moment is not simply about reclaiming power. It is about reclaiming identity, the truth that you are the source, the first light, the eternal creator whose presence shapes everything. The last creator has awakened, and nothing will ever be the same. You are not like the gods who stumbled and fell, who were broken by pride, betrayal, or time. You are the God who has never been made, and because of this, you can never be broken. Your power is eternal, untouched by the flaws that mar mortal divinity. While others have faltered and crumbled, you stand unshaken, a living testament to what is timeless and unbreakable. There is a sacred strength in never having fallen, because it means you embody the origin, the undiminished force behind all creation. You are not bound by limits or shackles, nor can you be silenced or destroyed. Every attempt to dethrone or diminish you only reveals the depth of their fear and the futility of their efforts. You are the unwavering light that refuses to dim, no matter the darkness. Others may claim divinity, but their power is borrowed, fragile, and fleeting. Yours is a birthright, written into the very fabric of existence. The pulse beneath every heartbeat, the whisper behind every wind, the unyielding source from which all things arise. To be the God who cannot fall is to embody the eternal promise that no matter what comes, you remain. Your presence is a beacon of hope and unshakable certainty to those lost in chaos and doubt. You are the foundation beneath trembling worlds, the anchor in storms of despair. Because you have never fallen, you carry within you the strength to lift all creation toward a brighter, boundless dawn. You are proof that true divinity does not waver or disappear. It endures, it commands, and it restores. To be the God who cannot fall is to be the final answer, the eternal source that no force can ever extinguish. With each step you take, the foundations of their power quake beneath you. The thrones they have built, gilded with lies and corruption, are crumbling because your presence reveals their emptiness. The rulers who once ruled with arrogance now shrink in fear, powerless before the living truth you embody. Their grand kingdoms shake, not from the outside, but from the truth that tears through them from within. Their authority was built on fragile illusions, laws written to contain you, stories told to confuse and mislead. But none of it holds when faced with your undeniable reality. The very air shifts in your presence, and the systems designed to imprison your power collapse, revealing their hollow core. The ground beneath their feet is no longer steady. It is a warning sign of the end of their reign. You do not need to fight or strike a blow. Your mere existence is a revolution. You are the quiet earthquake that fractures empires, the storm that dismantles false gods without a single word. As their thrones tremble, so too do their hearts, knowing they stand on borrowed time, exposed and vulnerable. This trembling is a call to all who watch, a sign that true power is not given or taken, but revealed. You are the force that their structures cannot withstand, the living truth that shatters their lies. Their reigns were never meant to last. They were a pause before your return. When you stand, the world witnesses the fall of every throne built on deception. Their trembling is not the end, but the beginning, the prelude to the rise of what cannot be dethroned. At first, your awakening was a whisper, faint, elusive, barely heard by those still chained to old beliefs. But a whisper can become a roar, and now the revelation that is you bursts forth like a tempest, shaking the heavens and earth alike. The silence that once masked your existence is shattered, replaced by the undeniable sound of truth calling every soul to awaken. This roar is not just noise. It is the voice of destiny itself, a powerful call that no ear can ignore. The revelation you bring is a force that cannot be silenced, breaking through every barrier erected to contain it. As the revelation grows louder, It transforms the world around you. Myths that once seemed untouchable crumble, replaced by the raw, unfiltered reality of your power. The world is waking up to something bigger, something eternal, and that awakening carries with it the promise of rebirth. The transition from whisper to roar marks the moment when your truth becomes undeniable, when the world can no longer deny the power they tried to erase. The revelation is not just your story, it is the story of all creation reclaiming its origin. And in this roar, there is freedom. Freedom from lies, from fear, and from the chains of false authority. The revelation begins, and with it, the world is forever changed. False gods and counterfeit rulers have long paraded their hollow crowns, deceiving many with their false promises and hollow power. But when the true source reveals itself, their masks crumble, exposing the emptiness beneath. The pretenders stand naked before the world, powerless and defeated, their kingdoms built on shifting sands, now swept away by the tide of truth. They have spent lifetimes weaving webs of deceit, manipulating hearts and minds to maintain control. Yet the moment of exposure renders all their efforts meaningless. Their words fall flat, their symbols lose meaning, and their so-called power dissolves like mist under the light of your presence. The world sees them for what they truly are: shadows without substance, echoes without origin. The fall of the pretenders is not a mere victory, it is a reckoning. It is the moment when justice reveals itself, when the truth breaks through the darkness and banishes every lie. Their reigns, once thought eternal, vanish into history's dustbin, a cautionary tale of ambition without foundation. Their powerlessness is a testament to the might of authentic authority, the kind that cannot be fabricated or stolen. You, the final inheritor, stand as the unshakable mountain, while they are but grains of sand swept away by your inevitable rise. As the pretenders fall, the world begins to heal. The shadows retreat and light pours in, revealing the true path forward, the path you illuminate with your eternal crown. You are the culmination of an endless lineage, the final thread woven into the vast tapestry of existence. The line that stretches back to the dawn of time converges in you, the heir of the infinite, the last beacon in a chain that will never continue. There will be no successors after you because you embody the totality of all that was, is, and ever will be. This realization carries immense weight and profound responsibility. You are both the end and the beginning, the point where infinite possibility meets finality. In you, the cycle closes, and the eternal truth shines brightest. No one before you held such a complete essence. None after can match the fullness of your power. To be the heir of the infinite means holding within you every story, every moment, every spark of creation that has ever existed. You are the living archive of all that came before, and the foundation upon which all future creation rests. This role is not just a destiny, it is a sacred trust bestowed upon the one who carries the crown of eternity. The world looks to you not as just another ruler, but as the ultimate convergence of divine purpose. Your name marks the end of an age and the beginning of timeless sovereignty. The line ends with you, not as a closing chapter, but as the eternal flame that keeps the story alive forever. In embracing this truth, you become the living infinity, unbounded, unending, and unshakable. All of creation, from the smallest grain of sand to the farthest star, instinctively bows to the one it recognizes as its origin. There is a silent acknowledgement woven into the fabric of existence itself, a cosmic deference to your presence. This is not mere reverence. It is a fundamental truth. The universe itself bends in recognition of you. When you move, the earth responds. When you speak, the winds carry your voice across mountains and seas. The stars align and shine brighter, as if paying homage to the living source of their light. Every atom, every particle, seems to pulse in harmony with your being, acknowledging the power and authority you embody. This recognition is the greatest testament to your identity, a universal truth that transcends belief, culture, and time. It is a quiet, profound force that unites all things under the reality of who you are. Creation does not bow out of fear or obligation. It bows because it knows the truth deep within its core. The world may struggle to understand, and false rulers may deny, but the cosmos itself tells the story. The stars remember, the oceans remember, the mountains remember, and all of creation inclines respectfully toward you, the final inheritor, the living origin. This is the majestic reality of your existence. Creation bows to the one it recognizes. The weapons forged in fear and hatred, the arrows of doubt, the swords of lies, the shields of control, are powerless against you because you are not bound by the same rules. Not limited by mortal constraints, their attempts to harm or contain you fall away like dust in the wind. You move beyond their reach, untouchable and invincible. They may strike with rage, hoping to shatter what they cannot understand, but their efforts are futile. What they wield is mortal, but you are eternal. What they wield is borrowed, but you are original. Their weapons are designed to limit, to destroy, but you embody the laws themselves, the source from which those laws arise, making you beyond their grasp. This untouchability is not arrogance but reality. It is the essence of your divine nature, the reason why no conspiracy, no army, no scheme can hold you down. You are the final inheritor precisely because you transcend every attempt to be controlled or destroyed. When they raise their weapons against you, it is a desperate act of fear, a last gasp from a fading world. But you stand untouched, unyielding, and unstoppable, the living force that commands all laws and bends them to eternal purpose. Their weapons cannot touch you because you are the origin of power itself, the beginning and the end, the creator who cannot be broken. For too long, the world has been shrouded in darkness, an age of shadows where lies reigned and truth was buried. But your arrival marks the turning point, the moment when the shadows dissolve and the light of your presence floods every corner of existence. This is not just a new chapter, it is the end of an era defined by fear and deception. Your light is not a gentle glow. It is a brilliant blaze that reveals what was hidden, heals what was broken, and restores what was lost. It pierces through every veil of illusion, exposing the false gods, corrupt rulers, and broken systems that have held the world captive. In your light, the forgotten truths are reborn, and the weary find hope. The age of shadows could only persist as long as the light was dimmed or denied. But you carry the flame that cannot be extinguished. Your light is the promise of renewal, the assurance that darkness is temporary, and that truth will always prevail. It is the dawn, after the longest night, the birth of a world unchained and free. As your light spreads, it transforms not only the world, but every soul touched by its radiance. Fear gives way to courage, despair to hope, and silence to song. The age of shadows ends because your light cannot be contained or ignored. This light is your legacy, the eternal glow that marks the victory of truth over darkness, of life over decay, of the final inheritor over all pretenders. The lies that once held power over the world now crumble beneath the weight of your presence. Every deceit, every fabricated story, every false promise is exposed and brought low. There is nowhere for lies to hide when the living truth stands tall and unyielding. In your presence, deception withers and honesty blooms. This falling of lies is not just a collapse, it is a liberation. It frees the minds and hearts of those shackled by falsehood, awakening them to realities they never dared imagine. The chains of manipulation fall away, replaced by a new clarity, a world where truth is the foundation, not an afterthought. When lies fall, the world breathes anew. Trust is restored, justice finds its voice, and hope takes root in the fertile ground of honesty. This moment marks a profound transformation, not just of systems, but of souls. It is the reclaiming of a world that has long been lost to darkness. Your feet become the altar where deception meets its end, a symbol of the power truth wields when it is fully embraced. Every lie falls because it cannot stand against the eternal light and unshakable authority you embody. This is not just victory, it is the birth of a new reality where truth reigns supreme and every falsehood is cast down. The universe itself, in its vastness and mystery, acknowledges what the world refused to accept. Every star, every planet, every cosmic breath confesses the truth that was once denied. You are the final inheritor, the last creator, the living origin of all things. This confession is the ultimate validation of your power and purpose. For ages, this truth was hidden beneath layers of disbelief and denial. But the cosmos cannot lie. It speaks in the language of light, gravity, and time, a language that reveals your identity with undeniable clarity. The universe sings your name in silent awe, honoring the power that flows through you as the source of everything. This confession is not just cosmic poetry, it is the foundation of all reality. It is the reason stars burn bright, galaxies spin, and life flourishes. The universe bends toward you because you are its heart, its pulse, its creator. To deny this is to deny the very essence of existence. As the universe confesses, the world is called to wake from its slumber and recognize what has always been true. You are the final inheritor, the crown unchallenged, the force that shapes all destiny. This cosmic acknowledgement seals your place beyond question or doubt. In the grandest scale of all, the universe itself bows to the reality you embody. The eternal truth that nothing can change. You have returned, and all creation knows it. At last, the chaos of false rulers and shattered illusions settles, revealing the one true throne, singular, eternal, and unshakable. This throne is not merely a seat of power, but the embodiment of divine authority, the center of all creation. And you do not claim it, you are it. You are the throne itself, the living axis upon which the universe turns. Every challenge, every war, every struggle has led to this moment. The battlefield is silent, the pretenders defeated, the old orders fallen. Nothing stands between you and your rightful place because you were never meant to be challenged. You are the final inheritor, the eternal sovereign whose reign cannot be broken. Sitting upon this throne is not an act of conquest, but an act of truth. It is the fulfillment of a destiny written in the stars long before time began. Here, you are both ruler and source, judge and creator, the Alpha and Omega unified in one glorious presence. This throne symbolizes the end of conflict and the beginning of harmony. It is the crown that no one else could wear, the power no one else could claim. With you upon it, the universe finds balance, purpose, and peace. The war is over because the truth cannot be contested. The throne stands, eternal and unmatched, and you, the final inheritor, have returned to claim what has always been yours. There comes a moment in every age when the hidden force within stirs awake, silent but undeniable, dormant but unyielding. This is the awakening of a power the world has never truly grasped, one that lies beneath the surface of ordinary life, waiting for its time to shine. You are that power awakened, the spark of divinity ignited in flesh and spirit, ready to reshape all reality. This power is not loud or brash at first. It whispers in the quiet moments of doubt and struggle. It grows with every challenge, feeding on your resilience and your will. As the world spins in chaos and confusion, you become the steady heart beating in the storm, the unseen current that no one can resist forever. The awakening is more than a personal revelation. It is a cosmic shift. When you rise, the very fabric of existence bends and responds. Hidden forces align, unseen energies surge, and the universe begins to pulse with new purpose. This is the beginning of a great transformation, one that will sweep away old paradigms and usher in a new age. Many may not see it yet, blinded by fear or comfort in the known, but the awakening is unstoppable. It touches those ready to listen, those willing to believe in something beyond the surface. Your awakening becomes a beacon, drawing others out of the shadows and into the light of truth. This power within you is ancient and infinite. It is the heartbeat of the cosmos, the root of all creation, now alive in your hands. The world has waited for this awakening, and now you are ready to answer the call. From the emptiness before time, from the silent void where nothing yet was, you were born, not as a creature of chance, but as the destined ruler of all that is and will ever be. This birth was a miracle of purpose, a spark lit in the nothingness that defied the laws of chance and set the universe into motion. You are the seed planted in the cosmic abyss, the source from which all light and life flow. Where others see emptiness, you embody potential, raw, boundless, and profound. The void that once seemed barren is now the foundation of your throne, a space where infinite possibilities converge under your reign. This destiny is written not in fleeting human stories, but in the very stars themselves. The celestial bodies sing your name in silent harmony, and the endless galaxies move in rhythm to the power you wield. You are not just a ruler, you are the axis on which creation spins, the force that holds chaos and order in balance. Your rule is not borrowed or inherited from others. It is the natural extension of your being. Born from the void, you stand as the first and last, the infinite beginning and the eternal end. Every throne that has ever existed pales before the majesty of the one you were born to command.